I met this girl on a Friday. How about you hotter than a Sunday?
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? How y'all doing? It's your man, Melvin Taylor Jr., a.k.a. Melvin Taylor II out here. And welcome back to The Alternative with your man, Melvin Taylor II, right on WHCR 90.3 FM, New York, the voice of Harlem. How y'all been, man? It's been a crazy week. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Shout out to all the veterans out there. We are in here in the studio getting it in, man. It was a wild weekend. We had Push's album came out. Then Drake came back with the heat. We had a little bit of Kim Kardashian and Rhymefest getting into it. If you don't know who Rhymefest is, by the way, I'm going to need you to just go ahead and turn this show off right now because you're just going to irritate me before we even really get into it. Apparently, the Houston Rockets just lost to the Golden State Warriors, so shout out to everybody that lost some money on this one thinking that Golden State was going to lose it. As much as I'm a LeBron defender, we probably know that he's not going to win this one. I really want LeBron to get it, but it's probably not going to happen. But it's all good. It's all good. And last but not least, we're back here in the studio one more time, and we got a special guest in here today, all right? This is my man, Jerah Milligan.
Oh,
he's a what do you want to say?
I like to say I'm like a lover of life. You know what I'm saying? A person who likes to learn, who tells a little bit of jokes.
Okay.
You know, trying to help the people as I can.
Understood. So, ladies and gentlemen, for y'all that don't know, Jerah Milligan, he is 1/3 of the Black Man Can't Jump podcast.
That's right.
He is also if you go to UCB, I'm going to put him in the legend status right now because we're going to look in about 2-3 years from now, we're going to see him on every TV show and be like, oh, I remember when we was just getting French fries the other day and now he out here just riding around in a Wraith and whatnot. Jerah's just out here doing everything. Not to mention iHeartRadio, Fresh Music.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Fresh Music Mondays.
Fresh Music Mondays, there we go.
You know, be reviewing these songs. Try my best not to judge nobody so I don't get fired. Yeah, boy.
Oh, it's all good, man. How you doing today?
Man, I feel good, man. You know what? At first I was tired, but now I'm wide awake, baby.
There
Feel
we go.
good.
That's what we need. Normally everybody that comes in here is like, man, it's kind of late, bro. I don't know. As soon as we pick back up, they're like, all right, hey, I'm good. Let's go ahead and get started.
Anytime you in this thing, you in the studio and you hear some music you vibing to blasting, it's like, you know what, man, it's a vibe.
There you go.
That's all you want as a vibe.
Just speaking of which, you were talking about Crew a second ago.
Yeah,
before we began, and just how that record was like really, really crazy.
Listen, man, I'm going to tell you about that Gold Link thing. Like, the thing about it so far is that, you know, I'm from Southeast D.C. before it was gentrified, you know. I like to put that out there because I went back to D.C. and I was like, this.
He was like, this looks a little different.
Man, I went back to D.C. because I haven't lived there as an adult, you know. So I went back to D.C. and it was a bunch of white girls jogging at night with dogs. And I was like, dog, this is not.
Big dogs or small dogs?
Small dogs. little baby dogs. Little baby dogs. And the thing is, I'm not a hater on little baby dogs, but this is my thing. You ain't about to just be jogging in the Southeast. That's like in Bed-Stuy. Like when I feel people talk about Bed-Stuy so much and they're like, oh, it wasn't like this. When I came to New York, it was like Bed-Stuy, do or die. Now I'm like, bro, y'all got some coffee shops.
Right.
So I got a lot of coffee shops.
Y'all looking real. Is that another fresh fruit market that's popping up in the neighborhood?
This ain't even a Starbucks. This is like one of those personal mom and pop things where the person don't live in this neighborhood.
Right. It's crazy. It was the same thing when I first moved here and my mom was kind of nervous. She was like, oh, you moving to Harlem? It's going to be crazy, blah, blah, blah. I was like, Mama, I was getting off the subway one time at 3:45, whole crew of white folks just walking past me. I'm like, oh, I'm good.
I feel nervous.
Right.
You know
it was like, I feel weird being like, this might go the other direction.
Bro, I was waiting for you outside. I'm looking at the cops or the campus security, and they staring at me. I'm like, oh, like, let me stay next to the light. I'm going to stay in the light. I'm like, matter of fact, it's so funny is I put my headphones in and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to put this phone up. Like, I'm going to just like chill, Bill, real. Yeah. That's the world we got living right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Like, let me just
let me do nothing.
Let me keep going about my way. It's getting to the point now where I'm like, even when I'm walking past folks, I'm like, let me just turn my music all the way down just in case so I can hear. Oh, let something pop off. Let me just go ahead and just dip.
Oh, bro, my music be on a whisper. Like, you might just catch me in the streets. It's on a whisper. I don't trust nobody on the train. I don't trust nobody when I'm walking on the streets. And won't trust nobody to talk to me in my face because I'm like, you know what? You see these headphones on and you still don't care.
You still right.
You still don't
bold
care.
enough to try
exactly.
this right now.
So that means you got nothing to lose.
Right.
Or if you do lose, you can win.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? I don't want none of these problems, yo.
So tell me, Jerah, you said you're originally from D.C.
From D.C., yeah.
Now, did you start doing comedy, entertainment, stand-up,
man,
everything that you do
heck
now?
no, bro.
Tell me, how did you just go back to D.C.?
Like, this is my thing. I grew up in Southeast. I grew up at a time where, like, we had Marion Barry, who was, like, famous to the rest of America because, like, Marion Barry was, like, caught on the news. Technically, he did not do crack cocaine. He did not. He did not. He said, like, 5 times, I'm good.
Right.
You know, he walked towards it. Cops came in. Put my man on the news. We voted him back in because we love that man. So I grew up in D.C. and, like, in D.C., yo, like, you don't, like, we had, like, art schools. Like, we had Duke Ellington and all these spots, but you really didn't, like, it was a government place. Like, you went, like, work for the government, or you know, honestly, you work for the government, work for a government contractor. That's just, like, entertainment just felt far.
Yeah.
You know, it felt far. I lied about it until, I remember I got to college, which I didn't want to do, but then I went,
You didn't want to go to college?
For what?
Oh,
I was like, for what?
Okay.
Even to this day, if I could take anything back, it'd be going to college.
Word.
Hands down.
It's
the only thing I ever say I regret.
Let's unpack this.
But this is my thing about that. Is like I really feel like we're in a time where I'm like, who's making these rules, man?
I feel
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, why do I have to have a kid? God bless you want to be a doctor. You need to go to school.
True.
But to me, it's like I wanted to do production. Like I wanted to act. I wanted to do comedy. Like to me, it's like cool if I'm going to a theater school or something. That makes
more sense.
If it's like a Juilliard or something, but being from around the way, like that's not what you go to school for. Like you ain't about to go pay all this money to go to Juilliard for what? Like people don't get what that is because people don't understand
what that process is.
Exactly. So, my mom didn't have a chance to go to school. My stepdad didn't finish. So it was like, you got to go, bruh. And to me, like, I was in Catholic school my whole life. So I'm like, you know what? My mom paid a lot of money. And I'm close to my mom. So I'm going to do this.
Right. I'm going to do this for you, Mom.
But it was not for me. Like, and the thing is, at the end of the day, it's like, I almost wish I would have had the heart to just not do it.
Wow.
Or at least cut my losses midway. Like, I feel like the internship I got, my school didn't really help get, and no diss to them. It's just that came from me just like being on the computer, being like, how do I get to New York?
You being
MTV.
on it and be like, let me go do this.
You know what I'm saying?
Happen.
Like I forged paperwork to get the internship. Too late because y'all hired me.
Wait a minute.
Look, man. My big thing about that when it came to MTV, it was like I didn't know TV. I just knew it was the youngest place that you could work. It was like, yo, if you're going to work someplace, you're going to be young. You might as well go to MTV.
MTV might be the best stop for you. Yeah.
I ended up getting an internship at VH1, which I hated. Hated it.
What made you hate it?
Because it was like, one, there was no shows or anything going on, so it was nothing to learn. So I was just bored most of the time. Yeah. I was legit bored. And then I applied the next year for an internship, but my school didn't allow credit for it. So my dean, so I'll take this back. The dean of I was like the only black dude in the theater department. Only black dude. So I was real close to the dean of like the department. And so she let me type up like a fake approval letter because I had to get the registrar to approve
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she let me type it up, let me put her name, and then she signed it and was like, all right, cool. I'm going to help you put it on your schedule. But the moment you get the internship, you got to take it off because, like, you're not allowed.
Right.
So she helped me do that move. And, like, that next internship for MTV proper was the one that, like, put me in contact with everybody I knew. Yeah. And that internship, I ain't had no money. So I would work at Verizon Wireless from like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, take the bus from PG up to New York, come through the internship in the morning, sleep in the office Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, take the bus back down. Man, because like, man, look, man, y'all ain't about to sit out here and tell me we ain't about to get this money. Because I tell you this.
Go.
Look, I tell you this. I ain't one of them rich kids, and I'm like, yo, when I get on, I'm gonna be mean. I'm gonna be mean.
Go.
I'm gonna be mean to them kids, boy.
Just don't be Bill Cosby mean.
No, I ain't gonna be mean. This is my thing. I'm not gonna judge people like Bill Cosby did, but
Okay.
I will say this though. I'm not about, and I'm not gonna be mean to people of color, but I'm not gonna be sitting up here and people call me militant if you ever listen to the podcast, and I'm not militant. My thing is, you can make change tomorrow if you want it. Like for real, as a man, I'm realizing there's certain things I don't know. As a man, what women go through, like there's certain things I can assume,
right?
But until they tell me, this right here is inappropriate. When dudes say this, even when it's the other men, it all leads to this. I'm like, all right, bet. I can understand that now. So I'm like, this is my part as a man to do this. Now, when I think about rich white folk, I'm like, all right, we out here like crying and boo-ha-haing because y'all feel like y'all been left behind some, and I'm like, hey, bruh, my family's from the South. Like, they just as broke as some of the white folk in the South, and ain't nobody helping none of them. I was like, the people you need to be mad at is the rich white ones that's leaving everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, literally, I think about this all the time. All these Trump supporters who are mad, I'm like, yo, if y'all just literally teamed up with us,
we be good.
We be good.
We be good.
Like, you just don't understand that. Like,
it's a lot more simple than y'all making.
It's so you can change it tomorrow. When I think about these movies, people are like, oh man, we gotta get more people of color in movies, more on TV. Cool. Change it tomorrow. You can literally change it you can literally have a meeting tomorrow with, I don't know, somebody from Warner Brothers, and they could say, man, you know what? We were gonna cast this new Harry Potter film. We already had a white Harry Potter. Cool.
Let's just
change
real
it.
quick. Yeah.
Let's just change it.
Let's just flip the script.
It is literally that easy to me.
Yeah, because it's a lot easier today than it used to be nowadays for anybody because stuff like you said can just happen overnight in today's world versus 10 years ago even.
Yeah, but the thing that's so tricky when it comes to people of color, especially in Hollywood, is like people don't pop up out of nowhere. Like I think about the people who've been popping right now. Chadwick Boseman was what, 40? My man's been around for years.
He was directing plays for the longest.
And the thing is, he only got in movies low-key by accident because he just happened to, he happened to have a dope audition.
Yeah, because he said himself, he was like, I didn't even really want to act at first. I just wanted to direct.
Because he was trying to act, couldn't get on, started directing, and then low-key fell in. I think about Michael B. Michael B. been acting since, what, 12?
Bruh, hardball.
Like
and then it was a break, and then it was like TV shows, and then The Wire.
And what did he play on every TV show? My man was a troubled black kid on The Wire. My man was a troubled black kid on Friday Night Lights.
I'm glad.
My man was on the whitest show of all time, Parenthood, and he was a troubled black dude that the white girl dated.
I'm glad somebody is finally here
like,
to have this conversation with me to be like, why is he still playing the same guy every single time?
And the thing that's so crazy about Michael B. that I love is that Michael B. gets to do the thing that, at least right now, the parts that. Yes, they kind of run in the same because he plays like this alpha version of a black man.
Right.
But it's a smart, educated.
It's a lot more calculated.
Yeah, like I'm not doing this dumb stuff no more, black man. Like I think about Adonis. Donnie, his name is Adonis. Yeah. Like straight up. My man's name is Adonis Creed. And I think about Killmonger. Bruh, Killmonger said everything that every black man in America wanted to say to anybody.
I got 2 Killmonger shirts chilling at the crib right now because I'm like, bro, as much as I love Black Panther going into it, I came out being like, hey, man, that dude Killmonger kind of had some points there.
Killmonger is the only time I've ever seen a black person. And I mean this very vividly because I feel like I was a kid in the 90s, so, Boyz N The Hood and stuff like that, the style of clothing wasn't stuff that I wear. Mm-hmm. When you see Killmonger for the first time in that museum, I'm like, this man dressed like me.
Yes.
I'm watching a big motion, but like my man looks and dressed like me and has conversations like we probably about to have tonight.
Yep.
And his biggest goal, think about this, his biggest goal is just wanting to give people who've been oppressed weapons to defend themselves. Mm-hmm. That's the villain's goal. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying like I'm not advocating violence, but his simple thing was I've seen what's happened to our people all over the world. I want to give them a means to defend. He literally says defend themselves. Mm-hmm. I'm like, bruh, come on, man.
Oh, man.
Come on, man. What you and Michael B get to do that. And the thing is, I'm worried that we wouldn't even know who Michael B is anymore if it wasn't for Ryan Coogler. Because think about it. Fruitvale Station put him on. Creed put him on. Black Panther put him on.
I agree. It was a point that I made here on the show a while ago where I was like, I'm glad that they found each other in a sense to be like, we gon' do this together. We gonna ride together and make this happen. Because it could have been a point where after what's the airplane movie that had the Tuskegee Airmen all in it?
Oh, Red Tails.
Red Tails. After Red Tails, what other movie aside? Maybe you got Chronicle and that awkward moment that Michael B was in.
Don't
But it
bring
was
up
like
the awkward
that
moment,
was
bro.
that was all. I kind of like that.
Man, this I didn't like him in that awkward moment. Let me tell you what this is my thing about Michael B.
Hit me with it.
My thing about Michael B. is Michael B. is an Adonis type dude. You know what I'm saying?
And you had
my man's a handsome man.
I see what we're
I'm not about to believe that you struggling romantically like this, brother. Because if you are, I don't believe you. Because like me, I'm under 6 foot. All right, I'm under 6. I only tell jokes because I gotta tell jokes.
Right.
All right. We don't have movie wise. We don't have the black everyman. Like we just don't get it because either we gotta be like the super protector. So like the person you come to look at is probably like either darker skin, like if it's a man, and big, meaning like he can defend. He could be scary. He could be a gentle giant, but he's like the big defending black dude.
Yeah.
Or you gonna have like the pretty black dude. You know what I'm saying? Could be like a little lighter skin, whatever. Like
Michael Ealy.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you don't have the black dude who's doing the Tom Hanks roles. Man, you ain't got the black dude who's doing the Shia LaBeouf roles. Because the thing is,
true.
Because the thing is about who do we have? Like, because the thing is, you can't. When you think of All American, that All American part never goes to a black person.
No.
Because you ain't All American. It don't go to an Indian American person. It don't go to a Native American person who is literally All American.
That's about as
That's about as American as you can get as Native American.
Yeah.
Native American. So I think about that all the time, man. Like, but Michael B is doing a lot. I just laugh when people say, "Oh man, diversity's in the style right now, man. We winning." Like, nah, man, we ain't winning really. We got 3 or 4 black folks who've been working since they were 10, finally getting their just due. You know.
Right. It's like finally somebody is succeeding for a few folks, but not for everybody.
Not for everybody. And the thing is, those people been around for a minute. And they put in the work. Like I think about Donald Glover. He's blown up this year, but Donald Glover been out since he was in college.
I remember when I first heard about his the weirdo stand up when he was first putting out music before Camp even came out. And I'm like,
Freaks and Geeks, boy.
Right. And
Freaks
people
and
just
Geeks.
now are like, oh my God, he's so. I was like, yo, do y'all realize how much time was in between now and Freaks and Geeks?
My man went from baby faced in a hoodie to a beard and dashikis.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? My man is like playing Lando Calrissian right now. Like, and it's so interesting because people don't see. Like, I think for people, they think, "Oh man, yeah, man, y'all doing so good." Dog, we ain't. People was just struggling for a long time. That was it. Like they were struggling. They just never quit.
Yeah.
And that's all that is. And like to me, it's like when I was going to college, I was like, I'd rather just skip all this 4 years of randomness.
Let me start my struggle now, so I
and
can
let
get
me
there.
just do it.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'd rather just come to New York, get the hustle and struggle out of the way, learn, because you're going to learn more on the job. At least to me, if you're doing a job like this, like if you don't go to a Juilliard or something like that, you're better off just finding an acting class and doing stuff. Now we live in a world where you can shoot whatever video you want.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the way the comedy world works now is, I mean, if you're a fire stand-up, you can put in your time and get that work. But when it comes to networks are looking more at Instagram celebrities than anything else. And then they put them on TV, and then they are washed. And they're like, oh, man, we put all this money on this washed comedian. Like, that dude wasn't a comedian. That dude was a washed dude from the beginning. I want to say washed so how people know how I feel about those Instagrammers, yo. And maybe this is hate, but I'm just like,
no, because I kind of got a few opinions about some of them too, and I'm thinking we on the same page with a lot of that. But we gonna get into some more.
I'm gonna just say wash one more time so they know it's
after
real.
these next few songs. All right, remember this right here is The Alternative with your man Melvin Taylor II on WHCR 90.3 FM New York. Right now, Leon Bridges, Bad News. Let's do it. Woo, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is Bubbling by Anderson .Paak. That song is absolute fire. Shout out to Anderson. I am always glad when he drops some new music, and I'm very excited for his project comes out. Remember, you are tuned in to The Alternative right here on WHCR 90.3 FM New York, the voice of Harlem, and I am joined by my man Jerah Milligan.
Yep.
We out here just having fun, just kicking it right now, just having a good time, just talking about him. So
what's up, bro?
after everything that we talked about beforehand, one thing that I did miss that I want to get back into before we talk some more about you is, when were those first few moments when you said, I want to do entertainment?
Yo, I bring this up and people laugh. So I remember being young, and my mom was always working, but we had cable.
Okay.
We had cable. I remember we had cable at a certain point. I remember we had HBO and Showtime.
Okay.
And I remember watching a movie, and I don't mean this to be shade, because I think the actor I'm about to bring up has passed away. But this is not shade to him. But I remember watching this movie called License to Drive.
Uh-huh.
And it was like these two white dudes. I think they were like big in the 80s, maybe like Corey and Corey. I think Corey was like, one was like Corey Philbin, one was like Corey Haim. It was like two white dudes named Corey.
They both hit me, but all right.
Like, and I think it's crazy because I know them now because I think something happened to one of them. But I remember watching this movie, and the movie is one of those classic 80s movies. Like, the geeky kid is in love with the beautiful girl, and he just wants to be able to get his driver's license to take her on a date. Like, he didn't even know what sex was, so he had like the condoms when they were in like the colorful package, and he thought they were lollipops at one point. It was reckless. And I remember watching it at a young age and thinking, I can do this.
Yeah.
I remember maybe being like 6 or 7 and saying, I can do that. Because the thing that was so tricky is I remember watching a bunch of movies like that with like the young, those are the kind of favorite ones I like, the young coming of age stories, but you never really see people of color coming of age unless it revolves around the hood, which bothers me a little bit because I'm like, yeah, we come from the hood, but our story is more than just struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's also eternal struggle. It's like that kid's struggle was just trying to get a date with the beautiful girl he had a crush on. Like, that happens to us. I got people I'm crushing on right now, and I'm still dying in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still dying. But like, I remember that. And I remember I used to talk about it, and I remember, not my mom per se, but other family members would dead it very quickly. Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
Why you want to do anything?
Why you want to do that?
Yeah, like,
because the only person that was out, was he even popping yet?
What are you talking about?
Will. I'm trying to think, was Will even popping?
What year are we talking about?
This may be, I don't remember how old I was when I actually saw it. So maybe this is like 90, 93, 94?
Oh, it's still early.
Like this, like he's not Independence Day yet.
He's not Will Smith. He's not Will.
Yeah, he's not Will yet.
He's still Fresh Prince.
Yes, still Fresh. Yeah,
let's see what's
because
going
Bad
on
Boys
here.
might not have come out yet.
No, I don't think Bad Boys was until 96, 97.
Good God. And the thing is, man, it's so crazy when you think about it. You had the only black dude saving the world was Will Smith. It was just him.
It really was just him.
And the thing is, I mean, think about movies right now. We got all these Marvel movies, all these Star Wars movies, all these DC movies, all these books. Will Smith was saving the world as Will Smith in their movie. Independence Day, that's Will Smith.
Yeah.
Men in Black, that's Will Smith. Even Wild Wild West, which people shade, is still Will Smith, and it still made a lot of money.
I'm not gonna lie, I still love Wild Wild
Come on,
West,
bruh. The song. Cisco and them.
Oh, my God,
Come on, baby.
Oh, my God, yes.
You killing me, man. That song was fire. You telling me you looking at a black dude on a horse? How many black cowboys y'all seen besides Django in Wild Wild West? You know what I'm saying? Like, you tell me when no more black cowboys?
I'm gonna tell you right now, my grandfather used to watch cowboy movies all the time.
Same with my stepdad loves them.
Never seen one.
I can name you 3 cowboys. Can't tell you their real names though. Will Smith, Jamie and Django, and then Denzel. And what was it?
I know which one.
Chris Pratt was in it too.
Oh God, why are we blanking right now?
I don't even remember, but I tell you this though, it took the 3 biggest African American actors of all time to be on a horse. You know, it took them legendary dudes to get on a horse.
Yeah.
So that was it for me. Like I wanted, and even when I got to college, I studied film, philosophy, and theater. And I didn't tell my parents what my major was maybe until junior year. Because by that time, it was too late to change it.
Wow.
Because at that point, I'm like, if I'm going to come here, I remember I hated college so much because I went to one of them nice colleges. It was like one of those art small schools. I ain't going to say the name because I don't want to shade them.
I was going to
No, I ain't going to shade them because I was like, I remember going to the school and I remember being uncomfortable every minute I was there. Every minute. I remember we had our dorms. Our dorms were like mini apartments, so they were brand new.
Okay.
Brand new. Matter of fact, the dorms were connected to the Ravens training camp, the old training camp.
Oh, word.
So they had money.
So I'm a Baltimore fan, so I understand all this.
Connected, so they had money. I'm in there my first night. And at the bottom, it was on the top of a hill. Bottom of the hill was a Sam's Club. My mom taking me in there. You know, college. I'm in here balling.
Let's get
you want some ragu sauce? Boom. Get this. Like, I was chilling.
Let's get it off.
First night cooking pasta. And the way it worked, it was a co-ed dorm. So, like, we were the only guys in our corner. So, like, you know, and, like, at this point, I think for most of the year, people were just happy to be there. So everyone just left their doors open. Everyone's chilling.
Yeah.
Never forget it. White girl walks in my junk. I'm in here cooking.
Oh,
here it goes. Mind you, the way you come in, you got to come past the countertop into the kitchen.
Okay.
I got pasta. I got ragu sauce. I got beef. I'm in here doing my. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Right.
Got my TV on because we had a TV which was lit.
Oh.
With cable.
Oh. This is different.
Oh, this was.
Wait a minute.
This was a wavy. This was a wavy dorm, bro.
Yeah.
Like my dorm, like you had an apartment, so it was 4 bedrooms to an apartment, living room, 2 bathrooms for each side. Wavy.
This dorm
super
was
wavy.
Off the chain.
Yes. I'm in there. She comes up to me and goes, "Oh my God, are you cooking soul food?" And it caught me off guard. Like, what you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you see the ragu,
right?
Like
you
ragu.
See what I'm making. Like, what are you? What
you
kind
mean?
of question is this?
It's ragu, baby. You're like, you don't see no fried chicken in this thing. It's ragu. You didn't see no biscuits. Even though I did have biscuits in there, but I didn't want her to know that.
You ain't need her.
She didn't need to know that.
Right.
Tell me something I'm making, and I remember, and that set the tone for me. Opening night. Opening night of college, okay, cool. No matter what you do, they're going to assume. I wore a shirt with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and my roommates had an intervention. Because one of them felt uncomfortable because I had Malcolm X on my shirt. And I was like, first off, brother, the one thing you need to realize is that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, towards when they ended their lives or when their lives were ended for them, they both switched. Technically, Malcolm X became way more enlightened, way more welcoming. But then Martin Luther King had been through so much. Martin Luther King got a little militant.
Towards the end, Martin was kind of like, you know what, actually.
Yo, Martin at the end was like, you know what? I don't know.
We really need to
hey.
Right.
And it's so college was not the way for me. I used to go visit my boys down at like North Carolina A&T and like I needed that. Yeah. I needed it, bro.
You need that
it.
Sometimes. I had a situation like that. My first day, it was in my first 2-3 days of college, in my class, this girl, me and her cool to this day. I'm not going to mention her name or anything, and I'm sure she forgot about it. She walked up to me and was like, "Oh my God, you don't have cornrows or tattoos. That's all I see on BET. I can't believe it." I was like, what in the... Are y'all serious?
And let me tell you the problem is those are the ones who think they woke.
For real, speak on it.
I can't even the thing that's killing me right now, and this thing I don't know how to navigate. Whereas I do think we're coming to a point of this enlightenment, which I do like. Not even enlightenment, but I think people are now just like saying whatever they want. Like if you racist, people are being racist.
They're being a lot more open about it.
Yeah, they're being open. Whereas now and that's the right. And it's so weird because when I think about the right, I know they don't like me. Mm-hmm. I know why they don't like me. I know why they don't like my people. I know why they don't like every progressive thing that happens.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the left, it's tricky because, I mean, they're not the right. So they're not outright racist, but they still say ignorant stuff, and they don't know it's ignorant.
There's some stuff, some like habits and behaviors they have that's really deep rooted that it's like,
they don't even know.
I don't, right.
They don't even know.
They don't even know.
And I'm like, hey, man, you need, like, this is, like, I feel weird about this. I think about, like, because I review podcasts and there's people of color a lot.
Black Man
Podcast. You know, I got to promote it because people always get mad. I never promote it.
Do you think?
You know, please go to Headgum or iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood. We review movies with leading black actors.
Side note, it is a very amazing podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all need to check it out. I was listening to Boyz N The Hood. What was it? Yes, I believe it was earlier today I was listening to
that
it.
movie. That movie touched my heart. Okay, this is my thing. I'm going to stop talking about movies soon. All right, Boyz N The Hood. We do something in black culture, and I am the biggest proponent of it.
Mm-hmm.
When movies come out, I automatically go, do I want to see this movie if it looks like a black movie?
I feel you.
And I do, and it's like, it could be actors I love.
Yeah. And
it's like, man, do I want to see this as a black movie? And for some reason, when I say that, I'm thinking this movie is less than every other movie.
You're already demeaning it.
And for what?
Me and my friends do that all the time because now they call me out and be like, Melvin, even if a movie is not that good, just because it's primarily black, you'll just like hype it up and go see it. I'm like, yes, because for the longest, that thought that you had was like, I don't know if I want to. And it's like, why do I even have that thought?
Bruh, why? Why? Because every time you're told something, like think about Boyz N The Hood. Boyz N The Hood. In that episode, we looked up everything that won an Oscar that year.
Mm-hmm.
None of those movies were better than Boyz N The Hood. And it's so funny, none of those actors were nominated. I think about some actresses now.
I didn't know that.
None of the actors were nominated. None.
That's
and this is the tricky part. This is the tricky part about it. Is I watch the Oscars all the time because I love them. But some of these white women get nominated, and I'm like, yo, this is how you act in real life. Not saying I don't know you, but if I'm just looking at how you do interviews, how you present yourself, this is how you seem.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think when people watch Boyz N The Hood, they assume Cuba Gooding is like that.
Yeah. They was like, oh, this is how
Cuba
he
Gooding ain't from the
normally
hood.
is.
He was a backup
Not at
dancer.
all.
He's a backup dancer, bro.
Yes.
For Lionel Richie.
That's wild.
My man was a backup dancer for Lionel Richie. Exactly. Like, you telling me
Y'all
my man.
missing it, Kyle in studio breaking it down.
Breaking
right
it.
now. But
it's like, that's what I'm saying. I
crazy.
think people assume, like, oh, man, if y'all doing a black struggle thing, like, why is it that these black movies, even if it is like a Boyz N The Hood, even if it's a menace to society, why they look differently than a Godfellas? I mean, it was not Godfellas, it was Godfather or Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
It's still thugs.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
One thug wearing a suit and one wearing a fitted. What's the difference? My thing is, why is that thug? Why is Godfather a classic and Boyz N The Hood ain't? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Why do they call it? Oh, it's a hood classic. Why can't it just be a regular?
Why ain't it classic?
Yeah.
Why is
can't
Friday?
it just have a
Why?
regular-
I mean, I understand it's a comedy, but why is Friday like? Friday might be one of the best comedies ever made, bro. Ever made.
you
Like,
know?
I'm not even talking about. It's up there. To me, Friday is up there with Animal House.
Honestly, it really is.
It's one of the best.
Everybody understands it. Everybody gets it. Everybody enjoys it.
Everybody.
So why is it like the same thought process that you said we have earlier? Why is it that we automatically turn that on?
I will watch
And not
every
just-
bad thing because to me it's like we have to get to a point where we can fail and then not diminish everything.
Agree. I think that's what I want to say. Ava DuVernay said that not too long ago, and they were like, "What point do you want to get to in your career?" Where she was like, "Where I can bomb movies and still get picked up and do another one."
Yes, and to me that matters.
Yeah.
Because to me it's like, man, I'm tired of. Yeah, man. Look, people of color, black women in particular, always have to be the best.
Yeah.
Because I think about it all the time. When I watch these movies, man. Like, yes, black men, we go through a lot. But when I think about Boyz N The Hood, when the streets get too rough for him, who he go to?
Yeah.
He goes to his woman's house, and then like has to not only take on her day, but now she with him on his. So not only like are we like now, literally the shot is beautiful. Is her standing, my man just holding on, crying.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like that is something that they always got to do. And when I watch these movies, it's like we see so many things happen to like the black guy, which is like, yeah, man, the world hates us.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. But not think about when we look at what they go through just in the movies, half the time something bad happens to a black woman in the movie just to propel the black man to be better or to like fight for her or do something. I'm like, black women just save an election from a pedophile.
Yeah.
Black women did that. Women were shocked. Black women. White people almost got that pedophile in office.
They tried. They tried.
Literally.
Dude, it was for a minute. I was watching the results and I was like, yo, is this really about to happen?
White women.
We've been consistently talking about what's going on, what he's doing, how he's wrong, and you're still voting for him?
My man wasn't even really apologizing. I don't think he ever did apologize.
He didn't.
And black women saved that election. People were like, oh my God, the black women vote. Oh my God, who knows? What you mean? Because they've been here.
Yeah.
They've been, and to me, it's like, it's just that thing of, like, I will support whatever it is now. I have the biggest gripe with Tyler Perry, but you know what? That man got a studio. I'm going to help him eat.
Exactly.
Like, I don't like those movies. I'm going to help him eat.
And you know what's funny? I'm pretty sure Marvel uses those studios that he
Yep,
has
in
down there,
Atlanta.
too.
Yeah.
Yep, all of those.
Black Panther shot at Tyler Perry Studios.
Yep. I was talking to Michael James Shaw, who played Corvus Glaive in Avengers Infinity War. He was telling me that they shot down there at those studios. He was like, Black Panther was there too, because he was originally going for M'Baku, and what he was telling me. So yeah,
man, M'Baku, bro, that part, man.
Shout out to Winston Duke.
Yo, my man,
Winston Duke.
My man became a whole Come on, man.
That man, come up is real.
Yo,
right
now.
My man Duke.
My man starring as Lupita's husband.
Oh, in the new Jordan Peele coming out
movie,
next
man.
year. Yes,
like,
shout out everybody that don't know. Jordan Peele has another movie that's gonna be coming out with Winston Duke, Lupita Nyong'o, I'm forgetting her name.
She's in The Handmaid's Tale.
I famously know her.
Elizabeth Moss.
There we go. I was gonna say Elizabeth Olsen, but I was like, I'm wrong.
That's the other. That's the other one in Avengers.
Exactly. I was gonna say I know her mostly because I was a huge Mad Men fan, and I was.
I was too, but Mad Men hurt me though.
It did because it was like this just.
They had one black woman at the end. They had one black woman.
Even though shout out, I'm glad they introduced me to her because she was also love interest in Chirac.
And
Ferris, she was in
what's her name?
Tayana
Paris.
There we go.
I should say that because I was stalking her on Instagram this week and she was in New York, so I should know.
You know, I used
she
to
was
stalk
at all the
her
black
for
spots.
a little bit too, but before I got in my relationship, somebody that I was messing with turned out they was friends, and I was like, I can't do this because ended off.
Cool, you can't. Cool.
I'm glad
now that I know that we have a
less competition for me.
Now we got a 6 degrees. Hey man, I like. Wait. I was supposed to tell a joke that I made the audience. Someone called in and said,
please tell.
What's the joke? All right,
Let us hear it.
We did a joke. We did Astronomy Club and won this improv group, and we did a show. Maybe a day or two after Trump won the election out in Brooklyn.
Ooh, heavy.
And it was crazy. It was raising money for who you raising money for? We were raising money for somebody because Trump he done the most. So we were raising money for somebody.
Right.
And we basically did this scene, and we're in a club venue, so it's a bunch of stand-ups. It's a huge nightclub, and you could tell that they were just having this event, and we were the only improvisers, and people weren't trying to see no improvisers, bro. Yeah. This is a stand-up spot. Yeah. We're doing sketches, we're doing our scenes or whatever. It's going well, but for some reason, my boy James, who also does the podcast with me, does a great Barack Obama impression. So basically, he came out and he was trying to be Barack Obama, getting ready to get the house in order for the Trump administration. And he's doing this impression. He's killing it. And then for some reason, I love Joe Biden because Joe Biden is just a reckless dude. Like if I'm gonna get in a fight, I'm getting in a fight with Joe Biden by my side because Joe Biden is just
Joe Biden
out here.
don't care.
He's just out here in the streets.
I'm with it. Let's go.
I came out as Joe Biden and I kept doing petty stuff to the White House. So I would take all the chairs and throw it up, but put them upside down, and they're like, nah man, you can't keep doing this. So I keep coming in and out of the scene, leaving the scene. The final time they come, I think the Trump family's coming in, and I'm like, hey, don't worry, I'm not gonna curse, but I crapped all over the bed. We good. And I just walk out, right? And I just walk out, and literally, I scream the curse word, as I say it, with so much pride and conviction, and I look directly at the audience, like this is for y'all, and I walk off, and people just start clapping, and it's like, yeah, man, that's what Obama should have did now. He should have did that. Man, it doesn't sound good because y'all weren't there, but it was fire in the room. It was fire in the room.
I'm imagining
it was
right
literally,
now, especially how it felt those days after. I can understand it. But we're going to get into some more of Jerah and what makes him so hilarious right after these next few words, ladies and gentlemen. Got some Wale coming up. Just got to represent D.C. one time.
Hey, man, the best thing Wale ever did was, talking about this other, best track he ever did was No Hands. His verse on No Hands is so ratchet, but yet so elegant. I love it.
I feel that.
I love a good ratchet elegantness.
It's one of the best when you listen, when you in that type of mode, you like, yo, this is really,
and
I'm going to have to listen to this later, but right now I'm prepared for what's in front of me.
Exactly. And you don't feel dirty saying it because that's one of them classy ratchet things where it's ratchet enough, women are like, all right, brother. But then also classy enough, they're like, all right, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is The Alternative with your man Melvin Taylor II on
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Been through a lot of pain in my life, and I pray the Lord take it all away.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember you are tuned in to WHCR 90.3 FM New York. Right now, this is The Alternative with your man Melvin Taylor. I got Jerah Milligan in here in the studio with me. And right now, we're just talking about how much of a genius Donald Glover is. And we're talking about one episode in particular from
Bruh.
Atlanta Season 2. If you haven't seen it
Bruh.
yet, then I'm sorry. I'm just spoiling for you, just like with
Spoiler
Thanos snapped his
warning.
fingers at the end of Avengers Infinity War. But anyway,
Oh, you just gonna do that too?
I'm going to do that too. I'm going to throw it all out there.
Woof.
We're talking about the Benny episode.
Yo, Benny Jenkins. Like, this is my thing about it.
Oh, hold on. Before you go, did you peep that in the last episode, my man's had the Benny shirt on when he was going through Darius.
TSA?
Darius had on the Benny shirt. But anyway, go ahead.
What you mean he had on the Benny shirt?
Remember when he was like opt out and walked through the thing?
Yeah.
When they showed him the Benny shirt that he took from, remember when Benny was like, go ahead and take, I'm starting my own. He was wearing that at that point in time.
What?
Yep. Crazy.
Screwed him.
Crazy.
Screwed him for
Crazy.
that. Yo, my
Crazy.
thing about the Benny episode is that you had this very 41-minute horror, like random horror episode.
Felt like Get Out.
Yeah,
For the
it did.
longest.
It did, and it
For
was
the
just random.
longest.
I loved that Donald was in whiteface the entire time.
Yo, when I learned that was him, I was, because after a minute when I started seeing his smile, because I was like, I watched him enough to kind of pick up on little things here and there. I was like, yo, this is dope.
Bro, I had no clue.
Really?
Let me tell you why I had no. Literally, when the episode was going, because the whole time I was trying to go to the bathroom, I was like, "Oh, ain't no commercial in this thing." I'm like, bet. All right, I'm in it. And at one point, I look on IMDb just to see who's playing him,
Yeah,
and they had a different character. They had a different dude.
name, yeah.
So they had the guy who was the visual for him during his black time, or like the brother. They had him listed as Benny. So Donald's name didn't pop up until the next day. And I was like, oh, you crafty. And the thing I liked about that episode is that he's talking about black culture, man. I mean, of course he's talking about Michael Jackson.
Right.
But to me, it's more than just Michael Jackson. It's the idea of working so hard that for us to be successful, you have to become colorless almost. It's like you got to become to a point of, the crazy thing is, the people who I think are two notorious black men, Bill Cosby, O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson has the famous quote of, I'm not black, I'm O.J.
Right.
And then Bill Cosby, the one thing I didn't like about Bill Cosby before everything that happened is that Bill Cosby will always tell black people what to do. Pull your pants up.
I didn't
do
like
this.
that either.
Don't do that.
beforehand,
Like,
right.
it was never,
This is how you do it. This might be another way to think about it. It was always like,
don't
do
this.
that.
Don't do this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, man, this is how
Yeah.
these people live. And it's, to me, just because somebody has baggy pants on doesn't make them unintelligent.
Agreed.
I mean, I think about one of the people I
Killmonger had baggy pants.
killed. He did. Think about 2 Chainz, bro. 2 Chainz is one of the smartest brothers. 2 Chainz may be one of the smartest people. T.I.
Yeah.
T.I. I
It's
think is
ubiquitous. That.
oh, Mike. T.I. uses words that every time he talks, I just have my Google out. Like,
Right.
I don't even know how to spell it, and I'm praying that it gets close enough that it'll let me know this is what it means.
Let me add a new word to my vocabulary this week.
Yeah. And the thing I love about Donald's doing these things, and he has episodes on that show that are just random, but they're not as random as you would think. You know, he has episodes that are just the FUBU one. I was a kid who grew up, and I could not afford Tommy Hilfiger. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I had a Tommy Hilfiger shirt that to this day may have been bootleg. Don't know.
Yeah.
But I remember wearing it to school and praying that it was real. Because if you would have got cooked up, you would have been
Same.
cooked for days.
Same. My aunt got me some J's that I knew was fake.
Mm.
And I was like, I pray to God nobody find out.
Oh.
Please don't see the Jordan's legs is stretched a little bit wider than what they need to be right now.
Bruh,
He finger rolling instead of dunking.
Oh,
Please
why he
don't
doing that finger roll, bro?
Please don't see it.
Oh, man. Why he got an E at the end of his Jordan? Why
Right.
is his name? Oh, Jordan.
Oh,
His name is Jordan.
He got an apostrophe in his name. What's going on here?
I remember one of the meanest things I've ever done. I feel like I've been trying to apologize forever.
Uh-oh.
I had a Christmas one year, and like my cousins in D.C. all worked for the government. So like when you went to their house for Christmas, you saw the floor covered in toys.
Yeah.
My house wasn't like that. My mom like did what she
Your
did,
mom
but
did the best she could.
but she handled it. Like I was never wanting.
Yeah.
But as I got older and stopped wanting like toys and stuff, I was like, man, you know what? All I want was a pair of Timberlands.
Yeah.
All I want was a pair of Timbs. I got a pair of Colorados. All right. And now I go to my cousin's house. All these people got Timbs. 2-3 pair of Timbs. And I made a joke. Like, yeah, I forgot what the joke was. My mom, to this day, has never got mad at me. Ever. No matter when I messed up in school, never got mad, has rarely ever yelled. I made this joke about these Colorados. I never forget. We're driving back home, and she goes, when you brought up those Colorados, that hurt my feelings. And that's the only time she's ever said that to me in my life.
That one
And I may have been in like 8th or 9th grade.
That one stuck with
maybe.
you.
And I was like, you know what? Because think about it. When your friend helps you like set up for a shoot or something like that, that friend is doing something for you. So I'm thinking about my mom. I don't know what she had to do to get those Colorados, because Colorados weren't cheap.
Yeah.
They weren't 200 like Tim's. They was close to 100 probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, man, could you imagine working so hard on Christmas to get your kid something, and then that kid makes fun of it to your relatives?
Listen, my daddy wouldn't have let me walk out the house. I probably wouldn't have. Hey, man.
But think about not knowing it though. Like being so self-absorbed, and I think about that all the time, man. Being like,
well, that's something that now we get to see on this side, because it's like as we get older and mature, we're like, oh, it's not just set up for us to just have it. Like when I was younger, I thought, oh, we could just go get food all the time, because we always got money for food. And then as I got older and I kind of saw what some of the struggle was, I was like, y'all have to do this for us to eat?
Yeah.
Oh,
bro, I think about Jim Crow. Jim Crow wasn't slavery. All my good white friends who are upset about Trump and had no clue this was going to happen. And I remember I said the morning of, y'all need to be prepared in case this man win. Because that hate that y'all don't think exists, I promise you exists.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, think about that aunt or your grandma who still says like, your granddad who still says little slide stuff at Thanksgiving.
Think about the reason why you can't take me to your Thanksgiving.
Yeah, like
think about that.
Think about how weird that is. Think about how weird that is. Like, and that still exists now. And I think about Jim Crow. The people who lived through Jim Crow are still alive. They were our age right now, fighting a good fight. I think about what is it? The bombing in Philadelphia. What was it? The 85? What do they call it? The 85 bombing with the police bombed the neighborhood.
Yeah,
like just bombed the neighborhood. That was 1985.
That's not that long. I read something the other day where it was like,
oh my goodness, Tulsa, Black Wall Street.
Oh, Black Wall Street. Yeah.
What was it? Was it 1921?
It was
Oh, bruh. Let me bring up the Central. Let me bring up Black Wall Street, because this thing has been boggling my mind like crazy. We live in a world where success for people of color was so hated that in the middle of the night, white people destroyed a town. And not only did they destroy it on the land, not only were they driving cars, they found planes. They dropped stuff from planes and destroyed a town, and nothing has happened.
Yeah. Nothing.
That is crazy to me. I think about those photos that you see, like I remember, what was it? Some museum just came out, and they had some like remembrance for every black person who was lynched, like in America, that they could find, like they could find a name, whatever. And on the news, I think 60 Minutes did a piece about this exhibit. And then white people, I guess, emailed and was like, oh, they were uncomfortable. They were unsettled by this thing. And I'm like, what? You unsettled? Like, some of these lynchings happened in the 60s. Like, literally they have photos. Like, there's a famous photo of like a young white girl pointing up at a black man. And he's hanging.
know which one you talk about.
That woman just died.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The woman who lied on Emmett Till just admitted she lied on Emmett Till 2 years ago on her deathbed.
Yep, she was what, 91?
I was like, yo, you gonna say you lied on Emmett Till when you in your 90s though?
Yeah.
In your 90s?
I was reading something the other day where it was like somebody who was in their 40s was like, my grandmother's still alive, and she tells me that her grandmother was a slave. I was like, that's crazy to think how like that's not that far back.
Bro, my mom had me when she was like 40, 41, and so my grandmother when she was alive was like older. My mom is like now in her 70s. My mom and some of her cousins who are her age grew up picking cotton. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like that. Like that's not long ago.
Yeah.
Like we keep making it like all this stuff is just, oh, slavery was 200 years ago. Yeah, slavery was. Everything else wasn't.
Right.
I think about like the war on crime when crack was a problem, and now this opioid. Was it opioid? How do you even say it? Opioid?
The opioids?
Opioids.
That's the
opioids.
There we go.
I saw a Time magazine. Maybe it was Time magazine, and someone looked at it. I may be wrong. I remember seeing a cover, and it was like this white woman, a baby, and they looked sad. They were looking sad. And then someone else was super petty, and tweeted something from the 90s where they had a black woman on there looking completely strung out for crack. And I'm like, oh, so now I really see how we view things right now. Like the little things. In the Time magazine, and I really do believe it was Time, it's supposed to be a magazine that looks out for everybody, right? They go on Trump, they do this, but I'm like, but y'all made this cover, and y'all don't understand that this cover, how we address this situation, is not how we address the situation. We called it a war on crime. Yeah. Like, these people are victims. We were criminals. Mm-hmm. I think about that when I see these movies, man. Every time I do jokes, like I got a show on Wednesday, and I'm thinking about the jokes to do on this show. And
you got a show this Wednesday.
I have a show this Wednesday in New York City, IFC Showcase at the Pit Loft at 7 p.m.
Make sure to show up, ladies and gentlemen.
And the thing is, when I think about this show, I'm like, I'm having a tough time coming up with jokes because there's certain things I want to talk about, but certain things I don't have patience for no more. Like, I don't. Like, I don't have patience for standing up in this. I don't have patience to be in this room. I know when I go in this room, it's going to be a bunch of higher-ups, people who, like, my agents will probably be there. People who I probably will need to impress will be there. And the thing is, I don't care. Yeah. I think I'm the only black person in the lineup. My friend Monique is hosting it, so she's a black woman. She's going to hold it down. But I think I'm the only other black person, only person of color in the lineup. And I'm like, you know what? I'm about to make y'all feel real uncomfortable so I feel comfortable. Yeah. Because think about all these rooms you've been in, and it's like you look for another black person to give them the nod.
Yeah, just to feel comfortable.
Just to
feel comfortable.
You know what? Cool. I'm going to make everybody else feel like that. Ooh. Like, I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. I'm in my 30s. Ooh. I'm tired. Like, we were supposed to make, what was the famous saying, if you're a black person, you're a black man, you make it to 30, you accomplished something. Yeah. Like, you ain't got no kids, you made it. Yeah. Like, bro, you know what? I ain't like, hey, I'm smooth sailing now. Shoot, y'all, we did it.
So tell me, how did you tell me about you first getting into improv, and then tell me about how you and the guys of the Black Man Pod ended up finding each other.
I mean, to me, everything is very weird and very like, all right, so I do not consider myself a comedian. Like, in any way, shape, or form, I consider myself a person. I am a short brother and not a buff brother.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, hit me out. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
I was gonna say, don't run up on Jerah.
No, I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in the gym, but I ain't like one of these walking walls out here, okay? And I recognize my size. But I think as a little brother, you realize, you got to do something. And so to me, it was like I was very good at words. Like, not rapping, but I was very good at, like, getting myself in and out of trouble. Yeah. I was very, like, good at being able to maneuver things so I could win it. And when I came to New York, I wanted to act, but, I didn't go to a Juilliard. I didn't go to a Harvard. I didn't go to, like, a Rutgers place that had kind of that back end. And to me, improv was the only place that you could just get on stage and perform. Right. And to me, it sucks, but it's easier to be a black dude who's funny than to be a black dude who's dramatic.
Woo! Hold on. I need you to talk about that.
Because this is the thing about it.
Dog.
This is the thing, because it's easier, because we are again, the issue is that when it comes to some of these movies, and when it comes to roles in particular, it's easy for us to get a job as a funny sidekick to a white dude.
Mm-hmm. I was just talking to I had Cameras Johnson.
That's my boy. You had Cameras?
I had Cameras on my show, my TV show, Making Manhattan.
Oh, that's my man.
Probably about maybe a couple 6-7 months back, and we were having that conversation when he was like, "It's so much easier to be the funny black guy, and to be like the sidekick to the guy instead of being the leading man, like you're about to talk about."
And the thing about Cameras, because I know Cameras, like I've known him for years.
And he's about to be on Luke Cage season 2. I seen that thing.
Oh, he in there.
Shout out.
Oh,
Cameras.
He in there.
Wait, let's go.
I sent him a text automatically.
Let's go.
And I think about Cameras, I was like, because Cameras is a lot younger, and I remember when I first got out of college, Michael B wasn't popping, bro.
Right.
So like there was like this renaissance didn't happen for my generation. That's like late 20s, early 30s. So Cameras is early 20s, where like now we see this awakening where we need to get like more black faces in. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to put a younger black person in because we don't have the middle-aged black show. Yeah. Like the only thing we really got is they're white people, to be honest. And I love that show exists, but we're not really making more shows like that yet. Like we still have She's Gotta Have It, which is kind of playing in that world a little bit.
And we're talking dramatic.
Dramatic. Okay. But then both of those shows are still satirical. Yeah. They're still satirical. So we don't have a show where like black people of color period are on the forefront and leading it in a dramatic way. For real, because Insecure is still considered a comedy.
Yeah.
Atlanta, as much dramatics as they do, is still considered a comedy. We don't get that. Like, we just don't get it. So it's easy for us to, like, get the step in as being a funny person. Easier, like, being lighthearted, smiling, doing that stuff. And I think, for me, I smile and laugh, but I like to compare myself to cameras a lot, because I remember, like, I used to be that jovial.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I don't care to do that no more.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like, I feel like I know what you want from me. And I know, all right, I could play this game, but then at the end of the day, it's like, I think about, we talked about this off mic, what Donald Glover had to do. Donald Glover talks about all the time. Donald Glover did a lot of jumping through hoops, bro, just to get to the point where he's at now. And he just got to this point now.
Yeah.
Donald Glover's been out since I was in high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what's crazy when you think about that,
Like,
too.
and I was in high school, and I think about Michael B. Michael B. is popping. But Michael B.'s movies in the last couple of years are all Ryan Coogler movies.
Yeah.
So
I
it
still
wasn't-
remember Michael B. because being from Chicago, I remember when hardball was a thing. Because I
Oh,
know
yeah.
people that was in hardball. When I first seen Michael B., you got to think about, like, I like how Kevin Hart said it one time. He was like, people getting mad at me for being so successful now when it's really only been these last 3 to 4 years.
That's it. That's all they see.
Over the span of 20-something years of a career.
Kevin Hart has done every crappy movie you've ever. I mean, my man did Soul Plane. Let's not forget he did Soul Plane.
You seen Paper Soldiers?
That was his first lead. That was his first lead.
Yes.
He was in those scary movies with Anthony Anderson.
With Anthony Anderson. Yep. Back when Anthony was still big.
Yep. My man's went through. Think about Tracy Ellis Ross, bro. Tracy Ellis Ross is one of the first black women in how many years to win Best Comedy? Like, the reason the world's going nuts over Sterling K. Brown, because Sterling K. Brown is the only black dude who gets to just play a dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period. Because Denzel, technically, to an extent, is this heightened type of black man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's the exceptional Negro. Every time we're in a movie, we have to be exceptional, which I love because black people are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Puerto Ricans, we are. We are that great. Our bodies have to be. We have to be to make it in America. But the thing is, we are the average dude who works at the bodega. We can't be the guy who's just trying to make his wife happy.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be this whole existential crisis of, oh, man, black in America, what do I do? It's like, nah, bro, I'm going to be black tomorrow, and I'm still going to try to get a girlfriend tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm still dealing with it. I'm still trying to make sure my mom got money for rent
Yeah.
while being black.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's so much easier. So to me, it was like, all right, I didn't go to these schools, and I think being in the acting world, you know what you look like. And I'm like, I know, like, I'm not that big. Like, I'm not about to be in one of these, like, CW shows as the dude who's, like, smoldering towards camera. Like, it's just not how it works. I'm not mixed. You know, I'm not big and black, so I ain't about to, like, lift up a car in a movie or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So to me, the only lane to go through was the comedy lane, because my size, what I look like, what I do, that's how it is. Because we don't have a black Tom Hanks.
Right.
Like, to me, I can borderline that thing. I can do comedy, I can do drama. I borderline that, but we don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just don't get we still don't get a chance to do that. You know what I mean? Like, we still don't get. You won't see Michael B cracking these jokes. The mere fact I only can mention Michael B as a young dude is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is an insane thing we're living in right now.
Yeah.
So to me, it was easier to do that. So I was Googling, like, people that I liked. I Googled, like, a lot of white comedians that I was like, all right, how'd they get on? So I Googled, like, Will Ferrell, Tina Fey. I did this place. I lived in L.A. for a year, so I did this place called The Groundlings. Mm-hmm. But I was like, oh, they're not bi-coastal, but this place called UCB, the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
Upright Citizens Brigade was on both coasts. So I started taking classes there. I couldn't really afford it, so I was taking it off and on. And at the time, there was a really big diversity lack, because when it comes to comedy, black people of color are known to be stand-ups, not sketch, not improv, because it's considered more of like a wealthy, like, you've been to college, like, it's a little richer because you got to pay for classes, you're doing a bunch of shows, and it's like people just assume if you're black, you're doing stand-ups.
Classes, and when I, like, shout out to the diversity scholarship, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even.
Same here. Diversity scholarship got me, like, most of my classes, and the thing that's tricky is that I used to call I was white safe at one point, which was, I would, like, you know, it's a difference between code switch. Because at one point, my boys back home would make fun of me because I completely changed my style when I came to New York.
Yeah.
I wanted to be safe. I wanted to be accepted. I didn't want tattoos. I wanted to be like, yo, hair is clean cut. I can't grow a beard, so I'm gonna be clean face. I'm gonna be acceptable
sure
to
you
like.
grow a beard.
Nah, bruh. I've tried. It don't work. My joint be looking like Anthony Anderson, like not Anthony Anderson, Anthony Hamilton with the little patches.
With the patches,
Bruh, it just don't.
It's okay if they can't accept you with your Anthony Anderson, they can't have you with your Stallion.
Thank you, brother. It just ain't gonna work.
It's all good.
Thank you for that. It just so we start singing classes, and then you just gonna comb your beard out right here? You gonna comb your beard? I said, man, you know what? I get that. I get it. I'm a shame. Y'all some beard shamers in this
Not at
jump.
all, brother. Listen, I ain't got nothing on top, so I got to do this.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna come out? You gonna come out? Go ahead, just comb it out too. Just comb yours out too.
Man, mine's a little prickly, so I'm still trying to get it off.
Y'all some beard shamers in here.
I can't grow what you got on top, so I got to do this.
Man, all right, man, whatever. He got a fro and a beard. You know what? I see what's happening. I'm done. I'm done with this. But what I'm saying is like, so UCB lets people audition to be a part of the actual theater, so you can audition and be on a team. And James, one of my comedy partners, wanted to James III wanted to have a team because they were allowing teams to audition, which rarely ever happens. So he wanted to put a black team together to audition. And at this point, for real, I was an intern at UCB, and I had quit. I was like, I'm never coming back here again because I hated it. Because I was interning at the main theater in Chelsea. I work at the door, and performers wouldn't even say hi. I'd be the dude at the door, and the performers wouldn't say hi.
Oh, no, I ain't going for that.
And so I was like done with it, and I happened to run into one of my other teammates, Shantae, and I was like, hey, man, I heard about this practice group. They trying to like get people to audition. You should come through. And it was like a bunch of people who were just there, and it just dwindled down to 8. And so the 8 of us kept rehearsing, kind of became a family, auditioned together, and we got on together.
Bad.
And then me, John, and James III always would talk about movies. Jonathan Braylock had this cool idea to do a podcast together, and we ended up teaming up with this dude, Nick, who was recording and kind of knew Jake and Amir from College Humor fame. They were starting a podcast network, but we didn't know that. And like we were like, oh, we're just going to like do a bunch of recordings. Matter of fact, the day, because James III and I were roommates. So, and it's hard doing this podcast because you got to watch the movie. You got to get out to Brooklyn. It's just hard, you know? So I think one day we were like, hey, man, we might have to tell John we got to take a break because this thing is, we can't handle it. And that same day, Nick comes to us and is like, hey, man, Jake and Amir wanted to know if you guys wanted to be a part of this podcast launch. They split everything 50-50, blah, blah, blah. And then me and James go, well, yeah, I guess we got it. And I guess, and it technically is like we got a lot from that. Like we've done stuff with Comedy Central.
I have y'all done a few episodes on the coast,
on
the West Coast too.
Yeah, man. So we've done a good amount of things with it. Like we sold a show to IFC, which is cool.
Get your props for it.
You know, we sold the show, so we've been working on it for like a year. We're trying to get in while there's black windows here, man.
Man, listen,
we got 3 more years. We had it in the 90s. In the 90s, there were black TV everywhere, and then it just Girlfriends was it.
Because that's something that I talk about all the time. Where when people are like, "Oh my God, this sudden black renaissance," I was like, "We had this in the 90s.
We had it in the 90s.
And it was going strong, and then it got to a certain point. As soon as they pulled the WWWB on off, it was over with for everybody. For everybody. For UPN. It was over with for everybody.
We were done. Once 2 things happened. When UPN when the WB turned into the CW, because they combined, that's it. Yeah. They combined the WB and UPN, the only 2 networks that put black people on. Because Fox used to do it too. Yeah. Fox had black people on that network. That's where Martin came from. Yeah. You know,
was Jamie Foxx show was on?
Jamie Foxx was on. It was on WB.
It was on WB. Okay.
So those 3 networks had us. Fox was like, "Nah, we good," and then WB was like, "Nah, we want the pretty white people, so we're gonna go to CW." It's like it just changed the game, and like now we're back in this renaissance. But hey, man, the world has taught me
it's a window
that we got a window.
Let me get through it before time.
If you're a woman, if you are a person of color. We got a 5-year window, and what we got to do is we got to flood the gates. Yep. Like my big thing is if anybody ever lets me get on, it's gonna be I mean this in the best way. When Kanye walked up on stage, I know Kanye's problematic, but he's done 2 things that I think I think
I ain't feeling him right now. But please go.
He's done 2 things I think is admirable, and people are gonna hate me for it. When that man walked on stage, when Taylor Swift got that award and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna let you finish," but Beyonce though and pointed, like to me it's like. I promise you, I promise you, if I ever get on, I am going to flood it. I'm gonna make sure black folk out here making Oscar movies and I'm gonna let somebody make some awful movies. So I'm gonna tell you why, because we need all of it.
We do.
We need all of it. We need to see.
We need that parody.
Man, we need to see an Indian American girl play the girl next door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need a dude who's a little bit overweight to play an all-American dude.
Yeah. Because they are.
Because they are.
They are.
Like how often do we support movies when when you don't see a brown person in the lead? All the time, bro. I grew up loving Die Hard.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I grew up loving Boy Meets World. My dad used to get on my case.
Love Boy Meets World.
My
boy.
dad used to get on my case, be like, "Why you watching that show?" And they always doing her bogus, and I was like, "Dad, that's just Sean. That's just who he is."
Yo, Topanga's my first love, bro.
Oh, everybody's.
Topanga's my first love.
Topanga still look good to this day. But shout out to my girlfriend. I love you. Topanga still look good.
I love what you did there. Save yourself. Save yourself when you go home.
to.
Save yourself when you go home.
You got to.
Topanga, love Topanga. Like, yeah, man. I'm trying to flood it. I want to literally go in there, put a tent down, dig my heels in the sand, and be like, yo, we here. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, it's like I don't believe in this. We got to wait for change. I don't. That's BS. I don't believe in it. It's stupid. Every time someone says it, I think it's stupid. I think they're stupid. And I like saying it's stupid, so I like when people know, like, oh, man, I'm doing my best. Nah, you're being stupid. You're BSing me. Mm-hmm. You're sitting here in my face right now. Right now, I'm like, yo, if I was a rapper, right? Mm-hmm. I remember when Kanye and a lot of other rappers stopped saying the F word. Mm-hmm. Cause they're like, yo, that's offensive, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool. I respect that y'all did this. You know what I'm saying? Black women been like, yo, man, y'all can stop calling us bees too. Ain't nobody changed that. And it's like, oh, man, we'll get to that eventually. Like, nah, you can change it. You can change it right now.
You can change it today.
Right, like literally right now. Cool. Next song to come out, don't need to put it in it. Every time people tell me, like, man, we gonna make this change, man. We gonna get more people of color behind the camera. Cool. Do it now.
Yeah.
That's it. All these director programs where you get to follow a white dude around who probably had way more chances than you did, so you could try to learn from him, so you can do exactly what you already know he knows how to do. It's like, all right, I'm good. Do it now. I know it sounds militant, but it's not militant. It's just a matter of fact. Like, why do we gotta grow? Every time I watch one of these movies and it's like, oh man, the person has to know that a black person has a heart and they're not so bad. It's like, like Chris Rock said the best. We've been good. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is catching up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's always been there.
We've been good people.
Yeah.
Like, we mess up like everybody else mess up. We love like everybody else love. We try to take care of our family like everybody else. You know, I'm tired of proving myself, bro. I'm old, man. Y'all done turned me into a 70-year-old man. I'm done.
Let's hop into some more music. Then we're gonna get right back into Jerah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, remember this is the alternative with your man Melvin Taylor. Up next, we got Trevor Jackson and Lecrae. All I Am. Don't go anywhere. Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Remember, you are tuned in to The Alternative on WHCR 90.3 FM New York, the voice of Harlem. Here kicking it with my man, Jerah Milligan.
Yep.
And, the show is, we got about 5 minutes left in the show.
Oh, man, y'all kept me up all the way. Snap.
We did. Look at that.
Woo.
Look at that. See, it wasn't that bad, man.
Ooh, man.
It wasn't that bad.
I'm about to take me a nappy nap.
No, I definitely feel you. So, Jerah, tell us, you said you got the showcase.
Oh yeah, so here, let me get all these plugs. I'm terrible at them. This Wednesday at, I guess that's tomorrow now. Huh?
Yeah.
This Wednesday, 7 p.m. the Pit Loft. It's the IFC showcase. Mm-hmm. Astronomy Club Improv Group has a show at UCB East in New York as well. At June 11th at 9 p.m. And my podcast with my co-host, Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood. We review movies every week. Comes out on Monday. We review a movie with a leading black actor. Or if we have a guest of a certain race, we will review a movie with a leading actor of that color. Mm-hmm. And we also have a web series called Projecting, which you can find on YouTube. It's about us working in the movie theater.
It's a dope series, y'all. Go check that out.
It's super silly. And yeah, man, hopefully we have this other show coming out and we can get this thing on air.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we're trying to do, man. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
You can follow me on the gram.
There we go.
At Jerah Milligan on the gram. I'm terrible at social media, so don't expect a lot. I posted since I've been here, though.
Good.
I posted tonight.
Yes, sir.
So I posted, and, just say what's up or follow me on Twitter. I talk on Twitter a lot. at Jerah Milligan.
I'm gonna have to find you then.
I'm big on Twitter. I'm like, yo, let's
Same,
just rap
same.
about stuff.
Twitter is like my morning news.
Yeah. Let's rap. I'm all about that.
Okay.
Yeah, man, but I'm Gucci.
All right, bet. Well, last thing that I really want to get into before we end up getting up out of here, I still got a little bit of a bone to pick with Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. So before I get into how I feel about it, can you just want to give me a quick thought on how you feel?
This is my thing. It's difficult for me to talk about stuff like that because I never know. I hate talking about things I don't know all the ins and outs. I saw Kim Kardashian's statement. I saw Ryan Fest, and I have a difficult relationship with the Kardashians because to me, I respect what Kris Jenner has done. What she turned that sex tape into a dynasty, bro.
Really did. Though.
People consider them the American family.
Really did.
But also, they are not people of color.
Not at all.
Not like they are not people of color. And they are literal. They're physical embodiment of appropriation.
Yeah.
Like they steal everything from black women.
Yeah.
Even so much they steal black men.
Yeah.
And when it comes, it's difficult because I don't want to believe that Kanye West is so far gone that he would not help out an organization named after his mother to help kids. I hope in my heart that maybe, I don't know. And I don't think Ryan Fest would lie. I really don't. I think Kim stepped in trying to defend her husband when she didn't have all the facts, which if you have a ride or die, that's what you're supposed to do, I guess. Right. It's just, I don't, the situation just sucks because it's like you got kids who need help. Yeah. And to me, it's like, I don't care what the beef is. You just got to help them kids. Yeah. So it's a trash situation.
I completely understand what you mean. I will say it from this standpoint of I used to feel conflicted in a way about it, mostly because of how I felt about Kanye and Kanye being somebody that I really looked up to, type of thing, from the same cities, like, yo, you really made it out here. Yeah. However, it's like the little cracks in the little chinks in the armor that now you go back and look at being at this place of mine where we at with him today, where I'm like, I just been putting this off for the longest because you're not everything who you say. You're not the same kid you had that blood from the city as you was born to be different. You're not that same guy anymore. And then I want to believe you too to think that, a Ryan Fest wouldn't lie about it, and I got the sources to tell me that he's not lying about it.
Oh, no.
I got the sources to tell you that the reason in which Kanye isn't associated with that was because when he was going through his money troubles, he decided, you know what, I'm going to let my man Ryan Fest take this over and run this cool away from the financial thing with the understanding of when my man get back on, he going to put it back into it because his mama's name's on it. I'm not going to start something with my mama's name on it and then just leave it, let her do whatever. Kanye didn't do that. So now
is he
with
back on
Kim,
though? Ain't he still struggling?
I mean, if his wife just, I wired you $25 million so that way you're not in debt anymore, my bro, you back on. So you shouldn't just be, Kim's whole thing about I'm gonna take this away and give it to my kids so that way they can run it the way it's supposed to be ran. Do you not even know what you saying?
That was
you gonna make fun of him for some fake Yeezys when this guy, he's the one that wrote Jesus Walks. Yeah. How are you gonna say, I'm sorry guys, y'all don't know who Ryan Fest is? If it wasn't for Ryan Fest,
you're one of your biggest hits, yeah.
If it wasn't for Kanye, you went to Ryan Fest early on, was like, yo, I got a bunch of beats, but can't put everything together, can't put all the words to the paper. It wasn't for Ryan Fest, you wouldn't have Jay-Z. You wouldn't have, well, let me not say you wouldn't have Jay-Z, but you wouldn't have Kanye getting to Jay-Z the way in which he did. Yeah. You wouldn't have a lot of that.
Damn, I didn't know he wrote Jesus Walk.
He wrote, man, listen, it's a lot of stuff. People out here like, oh, I don't know who Ryan Fest is. You need to do your homework.
Wow. I didn't know he wrote Jesus Walks. That's crazy.
Ryan Fest did a lot for Kanye. And for all of this to now be going on, for you to make fun of some, you had on fake Yeezys when you came to Hawaii. That makes me think less of Kanye to be like, if that's your man.
Why doesn't he not have Yeezys, period? Why is he ever paying for them? Yo, my thing is this, man. Like, I'm not about like giving away things and taking care of people just to do it. But I'm like, man, you look out for people who looked out for you.
That's all I'm saying.
Like, if someone looked out for you when you had nothing, when you was hurting, you look out for them. Because to me, like, it's nothing like loyalty, man. Yeah. And when people ain't loyal, what do I do with you?
Exactly.
Like, what is your purpose to me?
Exactly. We can get to a point where we have a conversation and be like, hey, we square now. We good. And then it's like we can check in and everything. But if I'm your guy, I was the one that you was like, yo, I'm really helping to put you into all of this and helping you get, you making the beats. I'm like, hey, say this, say that. take this line, take this, and then you flip on me like that.
Yeah.
And then I said this on Twitter the other day. The most Kanye did for Chicago's name is Baby Chicago.
He got a kid named Chicago?
Is it the youngest baby that him and Kim just had?
Chicago West? Named
Chicago West. When's the last time he been back to Chicago? Has Kim Kardashian ever been to Chicago?
Man, I don't believe in the celeb worship no more, man.
Yeah, this killed it for me.
Like, to me, it's like I don't believe in it. To me, I believe in who is really about the culture. When I see T.I. gonna die for Atlanta, bro.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? T.I. gonna give everything
Saying
for Atlanta.
ubiquitous on the way out.
Yeah, and it sucks because like the goal I always wanted was to do the same for D.C., but we don't live in there. No. Like, it ain't Chocolate City. Like, I don't even think they used to call it Latte City. I think it's just straight up Vanilla City now.
He used to call it Latte City.
They did, man. Like, I think we lost it. I think so. That's like, I don't know if there's a place to go back and try to help. Unless you go back and try to buy up a bunch of things and get people back in the city.
Well, I mean, listen, when you get on and you flood them gates, then that's what's going to have to happen.
Bro, probably, look, it's
going
to be a problem.
That's what's going to have to happen.
It's going to be, because my thing is I just don't believe in, again, guys, and I feel like people who are listening, man, take this with you in your daily life.
Tell them.
It's you have lived a life that no one else has lived, and you should not sit here and wait for nobody. We live in a world we don't need to wait for nobody. I'm tired of these handouts. I'm tired of trying to prove my worth to somebody who, honestly, is worth less than me. So it's like, man, when you see your boss tomorrow, walk up to him or her and be like, hey, you know what? You lucky I need this job.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Alternative with your man, Melvin Taylor, II. Special shout out to my man, Jerah Milligan,
Thanks
for
for
coming and
having
hanging
me,
out
bro.
with us today, man. I really appreciate it. So everybody, please remember out there, stay blessed, stay favored, and always stay Taylor. I will see y'all next week on the show. Peace and love. We out.
Life gets hard sometimes, but it's